All right, Joe. And here we go again. One of our favorite themes in the market, both you and me. I mean, look, the little kid in us, the science loving kids
Yeah.
in us. We absolutely love this space theme. We're going to talk about a couple of stocks from the space theme, and of course, we're going to start with the big one, SpaceX. Here's ticker SPCX. You see here on the daily chart, I actually have what looks like a pretty well-defined triangle looking formation here. We have a trend line here that goes from the high from the third day of trading all the way through the high that was made on July 6th and the high that was made here today on July 9th. This trend line here gives us a downtrend that we would really like to break in order to see other prices. But if you, or higher prices rather, if you look at the bottom of this, it sure looks like 150 here is a really key level. Of course, 150 is where the stock opened on IPO day. That level has clearly been defended. Even when we've traded beneath it, we've actually been able to buy the price back above that level. So it seems to me that we're coming up to a decision point here. Are we going to break down from 150 or are we going to break out of this trend and maybe make this chart look a little bit more constructive? What do you have on SpaceX?
Well, I do have that 150 level as being a very important key level as to the price holding up here. We start closing underneath 150. We may see some more downside. We had a couple of days where we did close underneath that 150 price. That was yesterday and the day before. Fortunately, it looks like we are recovering, so we don't get a third day in a row. Uh, a lot of the price action, I believe, is going to be tied to the testing behind Starship. And we do have their next static test fire for the booster coming up this week. Looks like it's supposed to happen tomorrow. And then that will usually kick off the 2 week time frame for when we do get our next Starship test flight, which is going to be Flight 13. Because that is a very hardware intensive event that usually sees a significant loss of the spacecraft, if not all of it. That's going to probably affect the stock price, I would imagine. These do cost 90 to $100 million to construct and launch. So that is going to take it down a bit. And I realize that might sound like a drop in the bucket for $1 trillion company, but it is going to be a hardware loss nonetheless, even if it does recover a lot of great data. So that's something that's an event to watch for. Just need to see if we hold up here. It does look like we have had declining volume over the past several days, and I would just attribute that to the lack of market activity due to the fact that earnings season is next week, and I think everybody's just waiting for that to come.
Yeah, and just to be clear here, our time of the recording, it's July 9th. We start earnings season in 5 days with JP Morgan. And then also don't forget, SpaceX is going to have its first earnings here sometime in early to mid-August, it looks like. So that's only about a month away now as well. So, all right, that's going to be SpaceX. One of our other favorite space themed stocks here is going to be VELO 3D Systems. Ticker is VELO. We've actually already had a significant win on this. We
Oh,
talked
yes.
about this wanting to come back into 15. That might be a good area to kind of load here. Well, we got 15. In fact, we did better still. We actually traded down into a 12 handle. If you were real sharp, you were able to add in the 12s yesterday. Today, we've popped back here and looking at the chart, we've done a really good job holding above the 200. In fact, this moved back down to 1213-ish. Not quite a test of that 200-day moving average, that value at 1230, but still we got in the vicinity there. We also have this trend line here. Now, this trend line originates back in earlier this year, right? This is going to be January 13th of this year. And then it also goes through the high of April 24th. Now, if you continue that, you can actually see that this acted as support here in May and then again in June. And here we are again, looking like it's acting as support here in July. So this trend line, definitely something to think about. If you like Velo here, this might be a decent spot to at least take a starter. And then as far as the news goes, again here, July 9th, we had Cantor Fitzgerald initiating overweight coverage with a $17 price target here. That actually caused it to trade up here today. What do you think on Velo?
Well, I like this stock. I think
Me
it's going to be
too.
one of the more important names that you'll end up seeing in the manufacturing of aerospace components and other drone components, maybe and even military components.
Mhm.
They are a strategic partner for not only SpaceX but for Anduril. One of the most recent events that just happened with this is that the company also expanded its strategic partnership now with Mears Machine Corporation. They picked up the Mears Machine Corporation added a fifth Sapphire XE to scale their distributed manufacturing across aviation, defense, energy, and space. Very much a big player in the space names. They're 3D printing rocket parts, but they do need to do some work on their finances. They are getting more revenue, but they also are a growth company, and growth does mean that they are spending. So they do have, they're very capital intensive right now. But down here at this support area where the 200-day SMA meets that trend line, I feel like this is going to be a good spot for support. The 200-day SMA, if you watch it, it has been previously a resistance area. Now that we're on the other side of it, it is going to be viewed as support.
And we've actually seen that with the price history. Okay, good stuff there on VELO. Last one here for this theme is going to be Rocket Lab. The ticker is RKLB. We've talked about this one before. It's been a great trader. I know a lot of momentum traders are on this. This went up to 151. It has pulled all the way back to 83. The good news here is that we're still above the 200-day. Now, the 200-day is down there at 76.64, so we did not quite test it yet. So if you want to wait that out, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe even a break and recapture. But the other thing that's going on here is we kind of have like this near-term double bottom at just about 80. So Rocket Lab, interesting, at more of a support area. We'll see if 80 holds. If it doesn't, we're probably looking at 76, 75 in there as a potential other spot to give it support. The last time it came into the 200, it bounced clean off that. That was down at $38. And then it came back into the 200 again at $57. And after that $57 test, it went to 151. So this area seems to be relatively important for Rocket Lab. What do you think on the price action here?
Oh, yes, I think that 200-day SMA is quite important. It seems as if since 2024, ever since the price moved above that moving average, it has leaned on it multiple times for support and turned every reversal off that moving average into a rally. Don't know if we're going to continue to get that, but it looks like this is a good spot where the price has enough time to cool off. This also coming in after the acquisition of a major company called Iridium that is involved in satellites. They actually are already a profitable company. So, and this is going to be a great competitive edge for this company against SpaceX, who also owns Starlink. So I think that given enough time, this is going to be a fantastic company. They are still growing. They have a dedicated launch facility for the U.S. Department of War. And as soon as they get their Neutron rocket up to scale and start launching missions, then they're going to be competing with SpaceX on their Falcon 9 platform. So lots of the future to look forward to with this company, but it's still a pretty long road ahead. Just want to see that 200-day SMA support kick in down here.
A lot depends on execution. You and I both like that Iridium acquisition there, so we'll use the chart to guide our trade here. Again, watch the possible double bottom around 80 and watch the 200-day down at 76. If you have any other space stocks that you want to see us cover or just have a discussion about, go ahead and put those comments in the chat. We would love to hear about that. We'd love to break down other stocks as well. Joe, thanks very much for your insights here today. We'll catch you next time.